Hello, hello, Imaginary Villain here, and I am once again here to do some game dev and allow people to watch it if they really want to. But before I do actual game dev, I'm going to start by showing people some of the tutorials on how to use pixie particles, because I keep saying I'm going to do it, and then I don't. I just never end up doing it. But you can do all kinds of things, including parallaxing, and a lot of the graphics I do are done with pixie particles. So we're going to walk through the start of how to do it. There's a lot of tricks you can do, and I'll start each stream off with how to do something else, just, kind of get people a little excited about using them. Because you can pretty much build your whole game with them. And it's just so overlooked. It's like the most powerful plugin in RM history, but for some reason, it just flies under the radar. Well, let's fix that. So I've included a link in the description of this video explaining where to go to get it, but it is in fact here. You can run a search for it for particle emitter. Or if you want to pause the video and for some reason type that instead of getting the link from the description of the video, why would you do that? I don't know. Don't do that. Anyway, download this wonderful plugin. And I have the download somewhere around here. Script download. Get it from here or your GitHub, whichever you like. It doesn't matter. Once you get the file, I guess I'll make the assumption you don't know how to install a plugin. Hopefully you do, because this will probably seem a little more difficult if you'd never done it. But anyway, take the plugin, dump it into your plugins folder, as seen by right here, particle emitter. All right. Go to your plugin list, and then add particle emitter to it. I've already got it on my list, so I don't need it a second time, but we'll make the assumption that you don't have it yet. Otherwise, why are you watching this particular tutorial? All right, so the next thing you want to do is I've included a particle in the description, quaintly dubbed Crazy Mirror, after the weird dimensional portal mirror I used. This particle is 1/2 of. This is the part that just stays and sits there. So download that particle, and then go to your game folder, data, and make a particles folder. Spell it exactly like this. And then inside the particles folder, copy the crazy mirror. You can name it whatever you want. Just remember the name you name it, because that's the command you're going to use to call it. So in my case, I'm just going to keep calling it the same thing in honor of the weird event that I no longer even use from a game that this isn't even involved in. So with that done, it's really easy to sit there and do all the particles of this. We're going to start with a tutorial map here. Already made. I put the player on it. That's all that's on it. Now, you might have noticed that it says it's for MV and not MZ, but I'm going to show you the actual just regular script commands to use it, so you can use it with either or, because the person is no longer around in the community, and according to their usage guidelines and all that, you're not actually allowed to release changes to the file. So while I would love to update it to use new plugin commands, I can't. If anyone can find them and get the permission, sure, great, wonderful. But until then, we're going to do it this way. But this way is actually better in a lot of cases anyway. You'll see why soon enough. So simply start by making an event. And then you're going to make a script command. Good times this. So the script command is, all these script commands are going to be in the description of the video. So feel free to copy and paste. So it's create PEmitter, the ID of the PEmitter. In this case, whatever you want to call it. In this case, we will call this background. This is important because later on when you want to reference it, you're going to need it. Okay, and the next thing needs to be encompassed in brackets here. These are going to be all the images that you use. You can use any image you want in your image folder. Anything you like, it doesn't matter. In this case, I'm just going to use my picture frame here, because it makes a neat background. If you wish to put additional images in here, you can, by simply putting a comma and then the next name and so on down the line. That's not very useful for this particular one, as this one's just going to display a solid image sitting there. But in later videos, I'll show you how to make really cool ground and like fire effects and things like that, in which case then you'll want multiple images. But for this, kind of unnecessary. Put a comma afterwards. And then going over my notes, because I almost always copy paste this for reasons. Reasons indeed. Oh yes, and now you're going to need the actual particle name. In this case, Crazy Mirror. You can, name whichever one you named it. Be certain to make it a string. You can use tildes, you can use, quotations, whatever, however you want to make a string. I will always use tildes, but that's because you can do a lot with that style of string. So, that's what I use. And then this, we're going to tell it which event to go to. In this case, I'm just going to use this underscore eventId. And what that'll do is it'll strap it to this event. All right, with that done, make certain to run your event. And then you can either have it go to another page after it runs, or you can just simply erase the event. So the next time it shows up, it puts it right back there. All right. And now when I go into the map, oh, did I mess something up? I might have. This is where I need to do one additional thing I forgot to add in. Best tutorial ever, by the way. You have to actually make these names a string, by the way. I left it as a variable. Let me show you what not to do really quickly so you know to do it later. So encase them in, actual strings. If you do multiple ones, then encase each new one in strings, like, blah. And then, like, whatever, each one would need to be encased as a string like that. But in this case, I only need one. All right. So what happens when you have a tutorial on the fly? I was like, I'll just do it, because if I don't just do it, it's not going to get done. You know how it works with me. And look, now you have one. It's currently above the player, so now the player can run around behind it. All cool, like, woohoo, neat. And this brings up the important thing there. The player defaults to being at the Z level 2 in the tile map. So there is a command, yet another script command. And this one is going to be gameMap.setPEmitter. I can type, I swear. Z. Then the actual name of the particle you set up, which was in the previous thing, I set it as background. You can use any name you like as long as it's the same name. In this case, I will make it 0. Because the player is at 2 and this is at 0, it will appear behind the player. Ooh. And now if you see, it is in fact behind the player. So as you can already see, this is already pretty easy to do for purposes of how you're going to pull this off, but let's go a little further. We're going to take another one, but I'm going to show you that the best way to do this is always just copy and paste. Save yourself a lot of time. Just don't do it to yourself. Grab another image. In this case, I'm going to grab some of these blocks. I'll just copy the name. It's a lot easier. Go into here. Be certain to change this to a different name. If you leave it as background, it will randomly, whichever one runs second will overwrite the other one. Most of the time, because I'm strapping it to an event, I usually just name it after the event ID itself. In which case, you don't need to have, string around it like that. A number is essentially what you're getting here, and a number is not a string. It's fine. So I'll use this event ID. You could name it random object or boxes or whatever you like. I'm going to change the name here to the name I just copy pasted from there. Still using Crazy Mirror, nothing changes. And then I'm still going to use this event ID here because it tells it exactly what to strap it to. In most cases, unless it's the player or the screen, I'm going to use these two almost exclusively in these places. Because if you want to make the image move, it'll move with the event. So if you need to have really cool parallaxing stuff that's moving around and stuff, just move the event around and lo and behold, it'll do great things. Remember to set this as a different one here and use the name that the exact same name. Since it's going to be this event ID, I'll just put that in there. I'm not going to set this one as 0. I'm going to set it as 10. This below characters thing, this does not matter one bit. You're setting it all with the actual Z command there. I will drag this over onto the screen here, like so. And look, now I can run behind them. What a good system, right? Saves so much time and effort. And then, for purposes of bring this up real fast, just to show you what I mean about look who can move it, this event ID, it'll go move right a few times, and then it'll move left a few times for reasons. Actually, I'm going to do it differently because I like it better this way. We're going to turn right, one step forward a bunch of times, and then turn left, one step forward a bunch of times. Ooh. We'll skip if you can't move for some reason. Maybe you can't. And then, instead of erasing the event, I'm going to go ahead and just have it go to another page after it's done. We're doing its little thing. Real simple, real easy. Or better yet, why don't you just put this on the other page and have it just run forever? All right. I did tell it to move, right? Maybe I didn't. That there, blah, blah, blah. You move at normal speed. Should be able to move. I don't think I put anything where I made it where it couldn't move. That's interesting. I'll move up one. Fix is fine, slower, blah, blah, blah. You can have through on just in case for some reason it's having an issue of some sort of collision I forgot to deal with. Happens. Happens all the time. I also have pixel movement on, which sometimes messes with the move command, so I need to actually probably deal with that too. So if it's not actually moving, that's probably why. Oh, wait. I forgot. This particular particle is designed to not really move. That's the whole point of it. So this part of the tutorial will be something that I'll show you with a different particle that's much better at it. Actually moving. Yeah, this one doesn't actually move. The actual event is moving way over here, but this one refreshes every like 5 minutes or something. Instead, I'll show you with a different particle, just to show you what I'm talking about. I've set up a lot of particles. I'll provide other particles later. This is mostly to give you an idea of the possibilities. Which one do I want to use? Let me grab one real fast. I'll grab one out of my other code up here. One that should look pretty common, because I use it all the time. I'll actually just... This is going to look really funny because Pop It Ghost doesn't actually work like you would think it. It's like spins the particle all crazily, but for purposes of this, it will move around. That's what matters. In a later tutorial, I'll go over how to make the particles. It's not that hard. It's really not. In fact, you might have seen me do it. Yeah, look, see, it's moving. Woohoo. Yeah, it spins the item real fast, so it just looks really funny. But you see what I mean? It'll just move with the event. All right, so we'll leave that as crazy mirror. We don't really want it to move. I'm also going to ditch this here too. No, you may wonder how I got like the pictures behind it and everything like that too. Which, I mean, you know, just to give you more ideas of what can and can't be done with this. We're going to create another one here. In this case, I'll just make one above it. You could do two of them on the same thing, but the advantage doing it this way, I'm going to copy the one right up through the code extra, is that you don't have to retype the code a bunch of times, especially if you use this event ID. You just get to get away with copy and pasting it as often as you want, and then just changing where you want it. The other one was at, I believe I had it set at 0. The thing to remember here is when dealing with these is there is no maximum number. It could be negative a million if you want, or plus a million. It doesn't matter. Well, you just read a million. Because all this is like a pixie container that it's all going into. And that's what the tile map's in, because all of RM is built on pixie tile map, and just pixie JS in general. So there is just no cap. You're not going to hit the parallax, and you're not going to hit the picture thing there. Those are actually just essentially different containers that are sitting on top of this main container here. So feel free to do whatever you want. And for purposes of this, I will do minus a lot, because why not? I'm going to grab the name of one of my background pictures here, and then this will help me show you the next command, and probably the last one I'll show you tonight. I'm sure this will be enough to keep you busy for at least a little bit of time just playing around with it. I'll show you eventually how to let players just walk around them too, which is another neat trick you can do. So look, now it appears behind it like a cool picture at negative a lot. But you'll see that it's the wrong height. And that sucks. I mean, that's just terrible. Nobody likes that. Now, there's a few ways you can mess with it. You could just move the event up. Look, I moved the event up. Woohoo. And now, look, the picture's been moved up. But you'll notice that this isn't exactly, 48 pixels right there. It's a bit off, which kind of sucks. So this brings up the next command. We're going to start a new script command here. This one is going to be gameMap.setPEmitter. Kind of a bit of a theme going on here. Followed by POS. I like this one purely because you could, call it a POS. Wonderful. This event ID because, well, that's what we named it. It'll just be whatever the number of the event. And then the first number you get to add here is how much you want the X to be different. In this case, we'll do like negative 24. And then the next number is how much you want the Y to be different. Actually, we do 0 on the X because I don't want to move it left. So we'll do negative just 24 on that. Okay. And then put a bracket at the end. Not bracket, I mean a parenthesis. What this is going to do is it's going to take the actual emitter named after this event and move it up 24 pixels. That's it. That's all. You will obviously have to experiment to get the exact right area, especially the more, And look, now I have a little picture frame. And now you know exactly how I managed to pull this off for the level area and all that. Obviously, I did a whole lot more of them, but you get an idea of what it takes to make this. So hopefully you found that at least somewhat informative. If so, I'm going to keep doing more of these, so keep checking back. I'm going to try to do one at the start of every single one of these streams because I thought about doing them at the end of the streams, and what happens is I don't get to them. And so for anyone who's interested, subscribe to the channel, hit notifications, like the video, whatever. I'm going to actually include an actual separate video so you don't actually have to come back and check this particular stream for it, where this is happening. So for anyone who's wondering why I'm talking about a stream, it was originally in a stream. And for everyone else, well, If you're watching the stream, cool, thanks. Oh, but I will actually include one additional thing here, just in case you don't want one of these emitters. This might be a handy thing to have. This will be kind of entertaining to watch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a wait in here just to show how this works. And it'll be a second. And I'm going to make this one wait a second and put a self switch off. This is purely to show you that it is happening. That's all. All right. I almost forgot to show you a very important command. Once again, gameMap. Dot, in this case, delete PEmitter. In this case, you only need the name. And since I named it after the event ID, I'm just going to use that. That's all it'll do. It'll just delete it. So it's going to do this, add it, 60 frames, and then switch this, delete it, 60 frames, add it back again. For a weird blinking effect. It's probably not that cool, but, you know, for purposes of this, at least you can see it do it. This might be fun if you want to have like a TV changing channels or something. But also, it might give you an idea of how to animate stuff too. Because you don't have to show the same image over and over and over. You could just show a different one. In fact, I don't know, if you did this every couple of frames, why, that would be 30 FPS, wouldn't it? Of whatever animation you like. Just a thought. Something that I'll get into much later in other tutorials. And with that, time to start actually working on the game. I will, of course, create a tutorial video out of this later so you can see, so you have an easier reference than trying to find it in one of these streams, because it's not like I've named these streams particularly good for finding things later. So, cool for that. And again, all this information is in the description of this and will be in the description of a separate video, but it's also in the description of the stream. The stream. And my first on the fly, tutorial is now done. So now onto the game. Now we'll include some kind of music because I'm probably not going to be talking anywhere near as much as I just did there. Unless someone shows up in the stream to watch, in which case, and starts chatting at me, in which case I will talk more. Otherwise, I'll just kind of talk to myself as usual and cover what I'm working on, basically. I think is the best way to put it. I didn't actually bring the music up. Silly me. Boss battles. Yeah. Everyone can feel like they're, facing the boss of, particle emitter. How loud is this? Probably louder in my ears than it is for you. Okay. Now to set Pop-It to start in the right area again. As much as I like my new tutorial map, which will probably stay in the game for a temporary amount of time, she needs to spawn there. Make certain she's spawning in the right location. Seems like the right location to me. Sure. That's actually like a 20-minute tutorial almost. Huh, cool. I'm actually half tempted to go through and explain how to use my plugins now too. I have been talking about that for so long. Oh my gosh. But then I had all these health problems and I just never got around to it. And so this thing that's responsible for the vast majority of my graphics that you don't get access to yet, the only thing that's been stopping it is an explanation on how to use it. It really is. It's been available for a while for purposes of, I could have given it out, but I realize it'll make particle emitter look easy to use by comparison. So, and particle emitter can solve most of your problems anyway. So the problem I had last time when I stopped was that these were not staying around. I could just stick with a timer here, but I'm wondering why. So I'm gonna run a console log here and figure out exactly what's up with that. I remember last night I was just like, I don't care. It's just too much. Also, I had come off of a weekend of a lot of work because I tend to work on the weekends and actually have a couple days off during the week, so it's just terrible. Oh look, it's just like one of those things that I made a moment ago. You might have an idea of how she's walking around behind those too, because, you know, this is obviously set way far back, probably at -10, I think. She's sitting at, I'm going to go with -1, maybe -2. This is at 0, the frame is at 0, and these are all at about 10 plus. So they can be in front of each other. That's all it takes. Look, now I just have this whole, you know. Then I have a different trick for why she's changes form at this height, but we'll get to that at some point too. Anyway, I was gonna check the boss. I changed the picture to that because I figured that's, I guess the dolls will be in this one. I don't know. I think I'm gonna make the first version just not actually have access to all these different things. Like, it's probably just gonna have, you know, a handful of the starting abilities and then no way to level up or anything like that. I just really want something that people can mess with, because like I say, I want to update it every week, so it just needs to be out there. And if someone wants to, you know, steal it and call it their own, you know, right at the very start where it's clearly an unfinished piece of crap, listen, that's just awkward and weird. You know, what's up with that? Don't go stealing people's stuff. Also, where'd the boss go? Come back, boss. Up there? Okay. Oh. She used him. Yeah, they just immediately destroy themselves. It just says 0 on both. That reminds me of where I was at last time. Because I did not have a... I didn't remember exactly where I left off last night. I'm not going to lie. I had to check the previous stream. Goldfish Brain completely won that day. I'm just like, yeah, Goldfish Brain. Alright, so somewhere in the middle of all this wonderful code, you bring up all the wonderful code. Right around here, it was not getting the right information. Gotta see where it's breaking at. Somewhere around here, it just not the best. Last time I checked, time is set way up here, and I was testing earlier, and it set the time perfectly. Yeah, like the time is set to be 500 plus level times 10, so 510 iterations. So let's see where it's breaking at. I kind of want to tell people more about the various particle emitter stuff. But I'd also like to finish this some year, so, you know. By some year, I mean, at least had the first version available in like a week or something. Alright, so it'll go there. And that's done right here. Variable name and then spell info. Then it goes to NPC1. It runs this once, but then immediately destroys itself. Even though it should be skipping all of this. Huh. I'm going to want that there. And then page 1. It just sets up the object pool right there. In the case of these, I don't need all this, so let's just get rid of it. It sets lifetime as 0, that's fine. Then it runs through stats, which sets all these things on here. Which I could probably just take all these and put them on this, not even have them differentiated, but I guess it's less efficient. Easier to find things though. So that seems fine. And it goes to here. Just checking to see if the event can pass. And I'm pretty certain it just goes to here at this point. Oh, wait a minute. Since the pools don't care if they're actually if they can pass on an area or not, they need to have a thing here where they actually just spawn, or they switch to A. Fine. We don't need this, or this, or that. And then I think it just wasn't flipping itself such A and instead destroying itself on that. Hopefully that's it, 'cause that'd be so great if it was something simple. The farther I get into this, the more complex it all gets, and it just turns into something of a nightmare. I keep trying to make it more efficient and have everything in the same location so it's much easier to track. I am fixing code from a couple years back, and that code is just a nightmare. I had much better code in the other game, but I foolishly decided to take this one and just make it a little bit better, and a little bit better turned pretty much into a lot better, and a whole lot better, and oh, let's work on this every week, and yeah. Alright, boss, where you at? I need you to spawn those little pools. Let me guess, the boss failed to spawn. That's another problem I need to fix tonight. Sometimes the boss does not spawn. It sits there and perpetually looks for a place to spawn, like it's doing here. But keeps failing for some reason. It doesn't seem right. Alright, well, we'll try again. It happens every once in a while. Oh, I guess I forgot to respond back to this person too. Alright. Respond back to that person. I forgot that I said something to them and then left them hanging for like 20 minutes. No, sorry, for 45 minutes. That's like 20 if you add an extra 25 to it. Sure. It's almost the same thing if you don't think about it. We don't want to think here. That's effort. We don't do that. Also, there's that issue with them vanishing but not always being killed, and that's kind of a problem. There's evidence by that one right there. And it's stuck in the thing, too. I just need this to spawn because I need the information. Are we just going to have error after error today? Yeesh. It'll be one of those days, isn't it? I'm talking kind of loud there. This microphone is kind of loud. Maybe I'm just talking really loud. I got all these little bars that tell me information. It's all exciting and stuff, or futuristic and things. I don't know. Huh. Boss is once again failing to spawn. I think I introduced this error. And it was done on page 1 here. Was it? Oh yeah, I was looking for the ability to pass in every direction. And if the boss loops and tries it again. The other ones are fine because they destroy themselves. They don't show up. This one, however... When does it set up the boss? Okay, so I'm running it there, but not the rest of it. It never gets past this thing here. Let's make a quick fix because I'm tired of the boss not spawning. We'll just do this. It doesn't really matter exactly where the boss spawns. The boss has a thing to chase the player down anyway, so if the boss can't move, it'll just respawn itself somewhere else. But it seems like this initial spawn is kind of a problem. So don't include case boss down here, just include it here. That doesn't work the way I want it to at all. No, I don't need to do all that. I don't. Just tell it to flip the switch anyway. I'm tired of the boss not spawning. It's so obnoxious. So obnoxious. Okay. just a few random things here that I need to solve the mystery of. And once I've done that, I should be ready to go to just put something up. I might still hope for... Not about Saturday. I'm going to try to get up very soon. It's just going to be the early prototype, just to see if people like the concept of it. Not going to include anything too complicated. Could even include the really weird leveling system I previously had. Might be better. There we go. You spawn. Perfect. How many times did she try to spawn? Undefined, huh? Interesting. 475. What's happening at 475 that's undefined? Okay, so the things didn't have any of those. That's fair. Alright. Spawn the darkness pools, please. Okay, what happened there? $475 came out as undid. Oh. Well, first off, you have to actually get the self variable, not set it. That might help some. Because obviously that would be undefined there. Okay, so that there. Just got to figure out where in the world all this stuff was happening. I consider doing telling people random stories while doing this because it might be more interesting than actually just messing with code. That's possible. Also, this is so much, all this code so much less interesting to watch, I think, than something like UE would be. Could also put a creepypasta in the background. I mean, people sit there and do React videos all the time. What if I just have creepypastas playing while I do what I do? Do I even need to talk? I don't know. I could just be doing creepypasta listens. I love creepypastas, so it wouldn't bother me one bit. Oh. Actually, she just made some. What? Oh, that's just the full thing. Well, I guess I don't actually have to log back out just to get that information. That would probably be easier. Where in the world is the event ID in this mess? That's 79. Where's 50? 78. Ugh. Oh, 79 right here. So that's right. It doesn't actually tell you the self variable. That's weird because everything else has a time thing that's set this way too, and yet they work fine. All the projectiles work off the same system. And they have time set it perfect, so... This doesn't get used. Let's get it out of the way so I don't have to scroll past it all the time. Not destroying anything particularly. Let me see if the events are even getting past this point. They might not be. Oh, it totally is. It gets to here. It runs itself once and then never does it again. Okay. Or it destroys itself. It makes sense it's even hitting this. It might not be. I don't need the full event, just the EID. It's a lot easier to look at all those. I should include some snacks nearby while streaming or something. We'll get better at the streaming thing. Already working on games anyway, might as well learn yet another skill that's not really monetizable. We're not very good at monetizing it. Like that person who's all commenting on Twitter that, you know, game devs are weird because they learn all these skills and can't monetize any of them. Most people just learn like 1 or 2 skills and monetize those. Yep. Pretty much. Pretty much. The big Annie's still trying to spawn? No? I mean, the big Annie should show up at some point. It's weird, she should just spawn perfectly fine. Well, the boss is trying. I recognize the boss smoke. How does it random into things all the time? Like, seriously, there's so much open space on the map. You'd think it could random into empty space purely by chance at some point. but it seems to not be doing that. Wow. I should have been able to spawn there, right? Wait a minute. Shouldn't leave a circle. That's weird. Again, see if it's messed up like that. I don't know. Maybe it is. Oh my god, I had all the sound effects for things too, but whatever. The time it spawned just fine. So at no point did it ever trigger the time set there. All right. Seems like that's where the mistake is. Oh, I misspelled it somehow. Yeah. Wow, all that because I misspelled something. Nice. I gotta close the other one. I think I'll just define out clear levels and what I expect them to have and everything like that, so I have it planned exactly what I want for this. Just gonna make it real simple. I don't really make it complicated or anything. Just because it's gonna take forever, and I really don't. I need to have something released. It helps to have something out there, even if it isn't great. Wow, the pathfinding is horrible. The boss having real trouble spawning. I'm gonna have to figure out a better system for that, spawning them. Because the boss is clearly trying. He keeps somehow randoming into stuff. Which really makes no sense. If I haven't changed the actual thing causing him to spawn. Unless it's hitting its own hitbox, is that a thing? The same one as the other one, right? Okay, good. What if I just don't give her a hitbox on that? She can't fail to spawn at that point. There's definitely some real problems with this game here. She is, and she has a good. Not that. Okay, she spawned him. Okay, so time worked there. And yet it destroyed itself. No, it didn't. It didn't destroy itself at all. Because there's 79 again, with a 1. Oh, no, they're there. Okay, well, let's do some quick changes here. We'll stick with level times 1 for now. I'm just leaving the 1 there because I'm probably going to change it later to a different number, but that's okay. I didn't see this though. This didn't seem to happen. I think of 2 seconds. I don't know. At least I know the system isn't broken. I guess it seemed weird if it was, because the projectiles are working off the same timing system, so how it could be broken for one and being identical code to another just seems insane to me. That's very difficult to achieve. Unfun. The boss is trapped, of course. Is she spawned? It's a start. But it totally says danger there. What am I smoking? Gosh, I don't even know. They work. Not about balancing them per se, but at least we know that's not a problem anymore. Let's see, so boss gets stuck on spawn. I need to have something different. I don't care if regular enemies do, like I said, they just get destroyed and a new one's made later. The boss needs to not do that. The boss needs to spawn and not be stuck. And then I guess the boss only runs that on their what, on page 3 or something of the boss? Is that what happens? It's random between these two. Now it'll try to move, and if it can't do that, eventually at halftime it'll just teleport away. Oh, this noise canceling is pretty good here because there's a train going in the background, but I didn't see the thing spike at all. I could make him faster. I mean, the player does have a super dodge like that. How much these do? Oh, they do so much damage. Wow, that might be a little overkill. Just saying, might be a tiny bit overkill. Yeah, just a tiny bit. Well, the good news is it's really easy to change the information on that. I think the other thing works. At least the boss doesn't get stuck anymore. That's really all I care about. Maybe like 2. I almost like them just spawning those more than I like the projectiles, because projectiles kind of are easy to dodge. Hmm. How much stuff do I really want to make for the first thing? There's no way I'm going to be able to balance it. I could balance it around there being no levels. Idea. Hmm. Hmm. Well, I do have the clown heads, and they were really easy, memory serves. The first year I could actually involve those. What's the encounter table for this say? And the boss is broken for that, though. I need to fix that boss. How much do I want to fix that boss, I think is the question. That's just a regular jack. Or did I ghetto fix it already? I might have ghetto fixed it already. Let's see what I have the boss set up for Jack here. It was designed to be the easiest of the bosses. Those ones work, though they're not, there's no balance to anything. I'm actually really tempted to balance everything around 1 health. Just for purposes of the first version. There's the shadow ones that are hard to see, the berserker ones that are really fast. They apparently explode for a long time. In fact, I'm gonna go to that. Let's see, downheads. Berserker explodes continuously sometimes. If I had access to more characters, I could actually just make them not all have the same graphics where I'm just doing color changing there, but I don't have that many weird toy graphics I can work with there. Is that a normal one did the same thing? I think that was a normal one that did the same explosion problem. But there's no guarantee they're going to do it. Let's get the boss out and see what the boss does too. They're fast and annoying. I guess there's an option to set move routes now, so they're not so broken. That was so OP. I guess the clown head could just barrel into people. Just ram them. What is even going on with those things? They're probably just broken. Who knows? It's part of the old guard of things that don't work like they were supposed to. Because it was all based on Gal's map projectiles and... How much health does it have? It works okay. I could make it obnoxious where the boss continuously respawns until you successfully collect all the tarot cards and you can finish it. Not a bad idea. Right now they're not very challenging. I'm going to go get myself a bit more tea while I think about this here. Yeah. I shall return. back again. So I think the plan here is to simply space out how the enemies are going to go. Decide exactly which ones are even going to be in. I think it's just going to be the do I just do 4 of the enemies for this? I mean, how many of these am I really going to put in? There's only going to be a handful of levels, and it's just for them to test things out. Because otherwise I'm trying to explain a lot of mechanics in very short order, and I don't think I want to do that. Let's do that. Let's 14. Oh, that's a jack. That's not the right one. This is 78, looks like. Now let's make this just really simple. Let's give him some little opportunity to figure stuff out. I have to program all these extra things in there. It's like, no, we'll just do just the main things here. I could do 2 in each one. I don't know. Again, it seems like a lot to explain early on. We'll just do 23 for that next one. I don't know, the jacks are pretty easy. I'm gonna do this, but like 18 and 23. And then the jacks can go those ones there, and we'll just do like those 4 enemies, and then they can just have one where they all show up. 114. This gives me a clear idea of what I'm trying to aim for in such a short, period of time. Something like this. And the final one will let you encounter all of them. I think the clowns are really easy. We'll go check that out real quick. I'm pretty certain the clowns don't do a whole lot, but this means I don't have to program a lot of enemies. I have a lot of their versions, but again, I'm just not sure what I want to do on how many enemies I want to spawn. I'm worried that I'm going to overwhelm the player, and I don't want the game to be incredibly hard in the prototype. So what to see here. Plus I don't have to fix everything either, I can just do a few of them. First I gotta fix that mass explosion thing they do. Seems to be really common for them to do it too. These are the jacks. These other ones have a different thing. Let's see. Down here. I think I did a much better version of this later, right? Uh-huh. Let's see. $142. I'm pretty certain this is the problem. Unfortunately, these are one of the old enemies that aren't all that interesting. And most of this stuff's not that interesting to people from what I can tell. Like, they don't stick around for very long. I guess because a lot of it's boring code, right? Oh, it's locked down again. Oh, those are the jacks. I need to change the player's speed in the menu too. In fact, I'll make note of that. Change player's speed in menu. The mouse movement is so garbage. That makes them more obnoxious. Another if here. Where's it at? Should have checked the number earlier. Oh. Blocking is off. Alright, random enemies, where are you at? And why aren't you... Oh, went to the wrong one. I'm dumb. Weird. Should probably spawn by the one I'm actually going into at the moment. I almost want to move her to, like, the center. So players don't even notice her at first. I want the enemies to wander around like idiots if they're blocked. Just to kind of give that player some time. I gotta resolve that problem too. I think I know to that. Fix stuff despawning. B. Moving image before despawn. I want to say despawn twice, that's weird. It's confusing. Where's your hitboxes? They weren't that hard to hit though, from what I've seen. Like, I was able to hit them pretty easily. That'd be kind of a lot of them though, and they are a little hard to hit. So maybe I do increase the size of their thing a tiny bit. How big is their collider? Tiny. Much so when you use Galv's thingy, I really don't at this point. Seems like it's just going to take a lot of extra effort to use it, and I don't need it. Yeah, I'm just going to stick with 5 areas for the thing there. I don't need a 6th one. It's not going to have any kind of craziness. I just want testable enemies. That should be more than effective. I could try the initial leveling system of Popquest because it didn't take very long to balance and it was just really quick. But it wasn't a very tough game. This is harder than the other one by far. They're kind of obnoxious. Oh, that's another problem there. Double item images. Sometimes I see 2 of them. Not always though, it's just random. Sometimes I think my code's too efficient. It tries to run multiple times in that short period of time. Even though there's waits on the events, but you know, it's RM. It's not like it's programmed particularly well. Trips over itself every chance it gets, so yeah. Alright. What's I doing? I'm going to speed them up in the menu, first of all. This time I'm going to set them to like 5 in there or something. I think it should just be better if it's 5. A little faster than normal, but it seems to be pretty slow in the menu otherwise, so I don't like that. The boss no longer gets stuck on spawn, so I'm going to knock that off the list. Let me go ahead and set the bosses to spawn where they're going to spawn, I guess, and we'll try to build the enemies in difficulty based upon where they're at right now. In the final area, we'll just spawn multiple ones there for just a real party. Instead of having all these other things set, and I don't need all this other stuff there. That'll be fine. So, area 1's going to be the clown heads. Area 2, make a note over it so I don't have to keep looking. It will be the Annie Bells. Area 3 will be the Jacks. No, that's backwards. These are the Jacks. I had this weird idea for all these crazy levels, and I have to make all the assets for it, and I haven't done it yet. And then Teddy's are the last one, sure. Area 5 will be random. If that's the case, I guess I'll set them just to have the ability to be all of them, just in case. It's not really going to be useful right now, but I'll want it later, so that's fine. Yes, the voodoo dolls that don't exist anymore. Oops. Next, these are 114. These are 18. And these will be the teddies. Alright, says that, and then I think WinCon's not on this one, right? Or is it not? WinCon being what spawns the bosses in. $189, 29, sure. I may set up a system to randomly spawn the other one. I guess I'll just put them all in there for now, and it can just be the biggest party ever. Which seems reasonable. I was randoming them, but I don't think so. I guess you can get multiple versions of the bosses, but I wanted them all to show up. I saved everything, right? Yeah. That's right, let's use keyboard now. I was looking for a controller, because I've been a controller game for so long, but they'd switched to mouse a while ago. Even if the mouse has some problems. Yeah, it does. Go to here. The other boss is broken somehow? Interesting. What if each area includes a new type of enemy, but also the old types of enemies? Like if it just keeps building on itself. That could be interesting. That might even be more interesting than this setup, really. If each area has an additional boss, so you can fight one more boss on top of that. I almost kind of like that. Why aren't you spawning? They'll probably do that and just make it harder and harder so people get excited about, you know, being a challenge. None of the other bosses spawn, which is concerning. Those are console logs here. I have too many of them as is. That means to get it working, I only need to fix these 4 enemies plus the other 4 bosses. And each area will be progressively harder because you'll face, well, 2 types of enemies, but you'll also face 2 bosses, then 3 bosses, and then all 4 bosses. For the most brutal fight. I kind of like that idea. It's not the worst choice. I think for balancing, I might leave it as it is, though. Ah. Yeah, let's remove all those first. This is the same name, right? Yeah, it is, okay. Nice, nice. Yeah, I kind of like this encounter thing there. I guess I don't want to change it completely yet. But I will go to WinCon and I'll just make them spawn the additionals. Or am I going to do that yet? I do want it as a thing. I kind of feel like each boss should actually be built to what they want to do first, though. It does give a much better idea, though. They should all use the same code, yet for some reason... I guess they don't use the same code. This is a else if it can't find it, and they don't all have that. Let's give them all that, so I don't have to deal with it. It already has boss relocate. Interesting. I don't know why you didn't spawn then. I think it's because they all have hitboxes on their first thing there, and the other one doesn't anymore. I got rid of it. Right? Because they've all got ways to teleport, so it shouldn't be a big deal. I just got rid of it. Let's do that then. Not ideal, but it'll work, and that's kind of what I care about at this point. that it works. Just delete. Nope. I'm moving this one a little farther away from everything else, so there's a better identity, I guess, from them. I'll try to kind of want to have different musics they apply to, but I don't know, maybe not. We'll just apply music in the other thing. Oh yeah, the broken voodoo dolls can just stay home. We don't like them. That one doesn't have it, and then I'll throw 4 of them. This is something I need to do. Like, I was doing a lot of work that just didn't actually lead to me doing what I needed to do to finish this. A lot of work. I really want to give Poppet shorter hair. I like the shorter hair version better in like 3D, but not so much in 2D. In this top-down view, it's hard to see your hair if you do the shorter hair. Back, Clownhead. I can't even hit it. It's a 2-hit and stop. Are you invincible, Clownhead? Wow. After all that, I couldn't even hit the dumb thing. The balance is going to be all over the place. There's 2 of them. Where's the other? There he is. Clownhead boss is way up there, huh? Is he stupid to come after him? Yeah, the Clownhead boss needs to relocate. They all spawn now. So now I just need to fix all the bosses so that they are at least competent fighters. They don't gotta have all their like crazy abilities. At this point, it's just going to be superior numbers being their plan. I'll probably tone down the number of regular enemies though, because they can get a little ridiculous. That's true. They do seem a little insane. Like they're just spawning really fast. We'll make it so there can be more enemies, like maybe 6 of them, but then we'll slow them down a lot. How many spawn? Maybe like 35. In time, we'll make the encounter system so much more complex, but for now, it's just kind of all over the place, and I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe? Nah. First version doesn't need to be that complicated. What are we doing for progression? Anything? Kind of a planning stream here for what I'm really going to do with it, because I've done a lot of work. Like all these enemies that just don't need to be yet. Because there's like 2 enemies that don't even exist yet. Actually, there's more than that. There's like the tiger kitties, there's the voodoo dolls, and the berries, and they aren't even being used. And then Bugaboo, who I'm probably not going to use either. Even though it might be cool to have one of the creepy dolls be like her instead. So yeah, I have all these here, and only these 4 are actually being used so far. Actually, never mind the Teddy and that and Clownhead. A lot. I could use her or something. Do I want to though? I don't think I want to be a new enemy yet. I have so many images for my enemies here. Like the enemies have 2,375 files. It's dumb. Characters are pretty big too. They have 3,203. Sad that I can't put it up as a webcam because of that. Oh, 300 files just for the ghost thingy. Whatever. I'm probably not going to use these 2 anyway, because they look kind of messed up, not that great. Probably use these ones. Tuna doesn't have to be in yet, honestly, because she doesn't do anything yet. Unless I want her to be responsible for leveling. I already have a level up screen though, so she just for something else, but that's an extra system that's just not going to get added in yet, I don't think. There's no items yet, so I don't need those. Oh. I really think it's just fix the enemies, and I think the jacks are perfectly fine. They seem to do what they want. Annie's okay. Her projectile's a little wonky and weird, but not like too bad. Is there some reason why they don't go faster? Projectile 2. This will run NPC 2. I think NPC 2 doesn't actually have a there's a weight on it, but I don't think it's actually a way I can easily change it, right? Actually, no, it's right here. What I'm thinking. They don't even have a darkness ability yet. Well, actually, they do. It's just only if the player is hit by darkness, which I guess the boss will have. They'll become more dangerous in the dark. Could knock a frame off of that. Beat them up a little bit and see how they act. Yeah, I'm fine with that idea. I'll probably arrange the pictures so that they're the right ones too. I just really want to lock it down to something people can mess with and see if they even like it. I don't want them to be that incredibly hard, because they also have a boss that comes with them, so... Also, the timing on these seems way too long, right? I don't want to set all the damage amount that. Nothing's going to level up, so... I could use a mechanic like art where the game is like suddenly getting harder over time by, you know, virtue of there just being less map. In this case, I could make it just get darker. And just get stronger in the darkness. Yeah, with enough of them spawning, I don't think they need to be that much better, because like, one at a time isn't supposed to be threatening. Because there's an unlimited number, so I gotta be careful not to make them too strong. Also, I gotta deal with that. System to destroy projectiles at map edge. Put through on at that point, but then they wouldn't collide. That's such a problem. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. Because the player could be along those areas too, unless I want a border that the player can't walk on. Huh. The impact system doesn't work too well for this, does it? No. That one's gonna be a tough one. I'm not sure I'm gonna do it. Okay, that's a little ridiculous. You also have dodges and things like that. I'm not even hitting the other buttons there, so you got all those. Oh, the boss doesn't disappear very fast, does it? Boss escape too slow. Allows for player to continuously hit it. Also, the bosses don't have to be that incredibly hard because, you know, if each new one has an additional boss. Wait, did that not apply darkness? It did not. Unless I said it here like an idiot. Did I do something stupid? I'm supposed to set it right here. Spell info. Well, actually, wait a second. It's supposed to work. Someone was just telling me about the various burial rites in Madagascar. Oh my gosh. He's like, yeah, we take a 3-day trip into the mountains. And I'm like, that's terrible. That's so far. And apparently there's people who sing for 3 days too. And I'm just like, but just imagine that 3 days and then to get to a temple and then 3 days. I think so 6 days for every time someone dies. Oh gosh. I mean, mourn however you want, but wow. That's dedication. It's just a lot of dedication. It gives you time to mourn that loved one, though. It does indeed. Yeah. I just want to see if it's hitting this code before I even get too crazy about what's going on. I am really tempted to start listening to creepypastas during this, though. I used to listen to those all the time while programming, and I love them. I guess if someone showed up talking over them, it'd be a little weird, but it's fine. Those are the jacks. I need to change all my pictures too. In fact, I'm making note of that too. Change gallery pictures to reflect enemies within. I might have to make some new ones. I kind of like the tiger kitties. I kind of want them in because they're so cool. But they'll get added later. They're funny. I have sound effects for them and everything too. And they're adorable. They're easily the most adorable enemy in the game. By a large margin. They're just a little stuffed cat. Well, a stuffed tiger cat, like a doll. Not an actual cat that's been stuffed. That'd be gross. Not adorable. No. They sound like a generic house cat when they meow too. It didn't do it at all. No point did it ever do that. Alright, they're still there, right? You can keep hitting them. Sure. Yeah, they just do that. Also, they still have the darkness pool saying darkness pool. Okay. Alright, so... it's just running NPC2. And it does not reach this point. Invariant is equal to its type. So it's reaching this here. Let's console log this. Anything else I want for this information here? I just need the type, really. Alright, well, I guess I see this. And then... this will be default. And this will be this. Let me go back up to the spell info and make certain it's actually setting itself. It's not setting itself. Right there, that's what I'm missing. What a doofus. Like I half program the code. Yeah, type up there equaling nothing, and if it says equal nothing, then it doesn't do anything. Otherwise, boom. Also, extra equals. I want it to be literal 0, not like a string or something that tricks it. Hmm, 2 hours in. I think I'm doing pretty good tonight, though. Maybe I can have this done by Saturday. If I focus it so much, it can probably be done. By done, I mean, you know, have something that's workable. I'll render the image for the last painting tonight or something, and I'll just remove the other portal at the end. In fact, I'll just do that after this test here. I just want to fix this little problem here, and then that should make this doll fine for its attacks and just need to have its other stuff figured out. Oh, it totally worked that time. Yeah. Yep, totally worked there. Hit me again for good measure. Oh yeah, darkness plus 30, Jesus. That's gotta get toned down. I still have a threat to kill you if he gets over 200, yeah. I don't want that attack to be a thing. Unless I use Bugaboo as the last enemy. She was the temporary last boss of the other game. Just like the biggest, meanest doll. And she was just towered over the player, but... now I think I want to do it very differently. The longer story of like this character known as the First Victim, who's an actual ghost and really would tower over a tiny doll because, you know, puppets. She's about like a foot tall, so I guess in everyone else outside of the US's measurement, we'll say about a third of a meter tall, which is not actually equal. I think she's a little taller than that, but not by much. So she would be up to the shin of the average, you know, random girl, I guess. Maybe up to her knee at most. She just it'd be tiny. I mean, she's a pretty big doll. She's basically the size of a Barbie doll, or maybe slightly smaller. I think Barbie dolls are supposed to be about 25% bigger than the amount that I set for Poppet. So I'm trying to get the whole size thing here, though it's kind of difficult in RM. It'd be super sweet in like 3D though, which might be what I move to at some point if I end up liking this, because I like the concept of this game more than I like the concept of the other game. Because as I was saying, I like creepypastas. Really, this is about a bunch of creepy dolls. I mean, what do you want? You know, that's just like, you know, that's crack to any kind of person who's into creepypastas. You're just like, but it's got all these dolls that fight each other and they're all cursed and stuff. Some ghosts in an attic. Oh, I'm in. I'm so in. Okay, so let's go through the list of things I need to change here real quick. I guess I change these gallery pictures, right? Make it easier to remember what I'm doing. Let's make some quick changes here so they don't, I gotta deal with it later. I'll just do it now. I need to remove this portal because I'm not adding a secondary for now. Don't bother with that. It's just, I guess it doesn't matter because it's not even up. I don't know what picture I'm gonna use for this last one. I have not rendered it yet. I gotta have a different villain logo. I gotta make a logo too, or at least some sort of credit page. Logo credit page before I release it, so I can at least, you know, claim that I made it. I don't have all this stuff together, so maybe I'll just use Bugaboo's one for it, and I'll just put a different one later. I could technically put her in as a thing. I don't really want to program another boss. I'm still working on the other ones. And again, this seems like something that's going to get added in later, so it seems kind of unnecessary. We have this set up to be just completely automated. So we'll use that as the last one, just as a holder. And then I might want to move Fortuna to the center. Am I doing that? Let's see where everything was here. So let's put the clown head one on the first one. I can always move her later. It's not that hard to move her. The original game had 11 levels, but this is going to be significantly more polished and have a lot more to it than the original game, so, you know. It's going to take me a little longer to do it all. And the second one is going to be the jacks, so... Do I have one for the jacks yet? I don't think I do. I should have kept the tiger kitties over the jacks. That's unfortunate. Alright, so let's make a note to make a gallery image for jacks and for final area. I have voodoo dolls, but they're broken. The voodoo dolls would break the game over and over. They had some real problems with their animation. I don't really, because they're supposed to spin all the time, but when they break their spin, sometimes it would break the game. I couldn't figure out why. Oops, I don't want to load it. I just wanted the name. Oops. Not a very good image. The teddies don't even look like that. But it will work as a placeholder. That's true. Maybe add some humor in too. After all, I originally had a mechanical bunny as the thing, but the animations for him were very limited. And also, technologically speaking, he didn't fit. I had to cut him because he didn't fit. Just like, but this is like steampunk levels. This is like, you know, this is like 1900s. This is, you know, Victorian / Edwardian era. All my games are happening in the same area in general and on the same time period and everything. So these things wouldn't exist. Plenty more steam-based creatures and all that, and probably better things for the attic too, but those will get changed as time goes by. Make them a little more fitting for the era. This was a Game Jam game, so a lot of the graphics were made then, and I never got around to improving them. It's like, let's see. So this was story 5. Right. Oh wait, we're block 1. What? This will be area 5. I guess we'll call it story 6 because these are all story areas and they're all marked by the thing that they have on them. But I don't want it to say world block. That's stupid. Not a world block. And then this third one here is the dolls. I'm sure they'll get moved around as people decide they're harder or weaker, but why is the doll one so much different than the others? Like, why is it way far off? Or whatever. And this one was the jacks, so I need some. I'm a placeholder for this. Just anything that's not the same image, so it's easier for me to find it. I guess the voodoo dolls can hold place until I do the jacks. Pretty much. Okay, so that should be all of them. Yeah, do a quick double check to make sure I didn't miss anything. The voodoo doll one looks kind of cool. Much more accurate. I kind of want her in the game. Just look at how nasty she looks. Also, I need to redo the Poppet because that's the original Poppet look. And she's mostly, well, she looks physically different, but she had a different face too. I could make Bugaboo a thing. I don't know. Also, what in the world are those doing up there? I don't know, but they shouldn't be there. You get over here. You too. I don't know what function you serve, why I have you in the first place, but that's good. That's not a bad idea. I really don't want to program another boss. Not yet. It seems kind of like a recipe for disaster. Indeed, indeed, a recipe for disaster. But it gives me an idea where I want to be with this here. Like a visual thing to work towards. And then I only have to balance a few things. Granted, the bosses, I don't want to balance all the bosses either. I gotta fix the clown head boss. Add that to my list of things to do. Let's remove all the stuff from my list there. Add this list going on here. Various things I'm supposed to do. Make it easy to remember things. So fix Jack boss. I mean, I guess the tiger kitties could be in there too. I think I like the clown heads better because I'm just blowing up and leaving blood everywhere. It's kind of funny. Funny, this was one of the few bosses that was actually built in the first place. I think we're going to do a ghetto fix for him to start with. And the ghetto fix is that we're just going to copy all the stuff out of the Annabelle boss. And she's already built. And then I'm just going to change her stuff. Because otherwise the Jack boss is just broken. It looks like his stuff should work. I don't get it. Why doesn't it? Wait, that's the boss Jack. What am I thinking? That's not the one I'm looking for. I'm gonna make that change. That would have been a problem. Yeah, screw this. Except that top part. Don't screw that part. That part's important. Oh, get rid of that. I don't need that. Yeah, this boss is just all kinds of old garbage. Oh, this is the action thing too. Oh my god, did I copy that off of the other character too? Wow. Here, why don't we spawn table boss? I'd rather it be enemy type 0 because that's what it is. Damage. I don't get why that's there. Projectile damage doesn't do anything. Okay, well, I think a lot of that's unnecessary, but make certain the clown boss functions, and then I'm gonna start tweaking its attacks too. Some things they all have to be able to do, and a lot of it's the character's so fast, they all have to be able to teleport and try to find the character. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. I really want the Voodoo Sultan. They're one of my favorite ones too, but fixing their animation issue is just gonna lead to like it's a fundamental problem with my plugin, I think. The animation plugin is most definitely not ready for the public. It is not even close. It's got issues up the wazoo. It works as long as you follow what it wants you to follow. If you do anything different, it can be a problem. Plus, it's also relying on Q movement to even exist because it doesn't get its directions otherwise. So it's kind of not the best. I don't recommend it at the moment. Later on, it'll get probably way better, but where's your picture? What in the world? The RFG'd its picture. Why did it do this? Right there, it destroyed its picture. That's the thing I have set to tell me if something's wrong. Obviously, need to tone that down. You can get hit by it so many times, it's ridiculous. That one might not tone down at all. That one might leave. I don't think I want to spawn an event necessarily, do I? It spawns 250? It spawns picture light? Why would it don't do that? Oh, we'll skip. What are these? Are there things I'm not going to use probably? I'm going to move over here. Because they're interfering with the jack. I don't think it needs this many attacks, but I'm going to go and borrow them anyway. I just wonder if Twitch would be better, because then I could actually have little emotes and everything like that, but getting people that can currently watch me do this seems like it's a challenge as is. I need to post myself more places, I think. Right now I don't even get the random interest much. I may get a few clicks and everything, but not that many. Not that many indeed. Yeah, the right one? Getting people that can currently watch me do this seems like it's a challenge. Wow. I will drag this over to the screen because it's so awkward. There's nothing in the game we can see that's a problem. Actually, what am I doing? I just drag this one frame. I click play to test it and everything like that, and then, you know, I stop, pause it, and it's just boom, Asmongoldface right there. He's like just laughing at us all. Also me. Look, it's recommending me. Woohoo! I'm between Markiplier and Asmongold. Okay, right now that automatically makes me happy. And Nostalgia Critic. I'm just gonna go ahead and print screen that because I'll make it bigger. Nah, I don't care that much. I know that it's only because it's recommending it to me. However, for one brief moment, that's kind of cool. I'll take it. Don't worry about it. I'll take it. I'm just gonna add that to my thing over here. So I can glory in a brief moment of never thought I'd see it, even though it doesn't really mean anything. Though I kind of wish the Markiplier was on this side here, because then he'd be looking at the dumpster on fire. But I can get behind Asmongold grinning, like, I guess evilly and everything, right next to it being on fire. And Nostalgia Critic wondering why he's even here. Yeah, I want Markiplier right here. Maybe Markiplier right there. Nostalgia Critic there looking at it, and then Asmongold over here. It would be funny. Anyway, something I was thinking about going, you know, that's hilarious. Anyway. I'll take what amusement I can get. Okay, so for this one here, Clown head boss shot, I guess. Does he even have that many attacks? What does he do? I mean, like, the Teddy comes flying at you and just tries to stab the crap out of you perpetually, so he's just super aggressive. He doesn't have a lot of attacks. He does have a sword throw. Yanni makes darkness pools. Has 2 types of projectiles. But she just commands darkness. The Jack Boss lights things on fire. So I actually need a fire status ailment, don't I? That would just be poison though, right? I guess I can add burning as a thing in here. I mean, kind of extra graphics. I could just make them the poison enemy too. Make it harder for them. Let me think about that one. I'm gonna do one or the other. So, actually, fix Clown Head Boss. Not Jack Boss. Make Jax do fire. Maybe actually do poison instead of fire. Or create burning status element. Problem is this, I don't see how it would be functionally different than poison. So I think I might just switch them to poison. I kind of want to make the Annies look a little more evil, but it's hard to animate them with things because they're not actually like a full model. Well, they're a model, but they don't have all the bones and stuff. They barely move. That's why they wobble around all weird, because they lack joints. And why they clap their arms like a seal, because they can only move at the shoulders. They don't have elbows or anything, so, or wrists. So they're kind of feel bad for them in a way. The teddies are like fully opposable, but most of the toys are not very mobile, and it shows. So let's do for the Clown Head Boss thingy here. I like having everything in one spot. It's so nice. Probably what? I usually call him Floating Clownhead, but I guess they call him a clone. I just call him a Clownhead Boss, Floating Clownhead Boss. Do I want to put all that? Yeah, just put Clownhead. I'll just name them all Clownheads. It's easier. Sure, either one of these can be changed because it won't change anything. And then I'm gonna put all the Annie stuff next to itself, so I don't gotta find it. Oh, looks like my internet's having all manner of fun problems. Cool, what a great deal. It says it's fine. I wonder why it's having issues. Nobody else is using the internet right now, so it's pretty much just me and the AM sitting here doing dumb things with RM. Mini bell attacks. Player abilities. Head abilities. I'll call them abilities. Seems better than attacks. Because I can give other things to the ones too. Attack abilities. Teddy abilities. Just to double check, I can't put these in between, can I? Does it work like that? Oh, it does. Oh, wow. That's the case. How does that organize itself? Curious. I like that way better. That's just nice to see. I'm gonna put a little extra space there so it looks a little nicer. I can already see this list is getting a little ridiculous, so I might as well fix it. I need to really focus on a lot of more organization. If that's become apparent in watching me do this, for anyone coming along later, if anyone comes along later, just seeing how much I've had to go back and look for things because the organization, which wasn't as good as it could have been, should pretty much say everything about why you should organize your product, or your project. Your product too, for that matter. I mean, it is a product basically you're making, but still, organize. Very good. Easy to find things now. Alright, that's so much nicer. Now I can tell where everything is. And then I think for these, I'm just going to copy the other ones, right? Just copy all of them. I guess the darkness shot's just not a... doesn't do anything special? I don't know. Maybe I didn't... Something seems awkward on that. I have to double check the other attack. It makes sense the clown head would do fire, because all the clown heads burst into flames. Alright, I think I'm gonna do that. So, make Jax do poison. Make the clown head boss create fire pools. Give each of them a status I want to play with, so it makes it a little more exciting, which I think is a pretty good idea. That's really about organization and just figuring out exactly where I'm going with this, because it's just getting all over the place. Oh, the teddies could have a thing where it's like a sword drops on the spot. Yeah, so the teddy boss all that, right? So teddy boss creates sword drops. Like the lightning spell. It's not a bad idea. Or spike traps. We'll call them sword traps. I guess they're more like a sword trap. Where sword just comes from the ground and impales. Be okay. I was also gonna be a poison pool. So the jacks laugh at you and also poison you. You can slowly die from them. It should be pretty obnoxious. Well, I guess we'll call it a sword pool because they're all pools, even though it's not really a pool, but whatever. I think that'll be all the attacks that are included in the game. Yeah. Not the leveling, we're just going to balance it as one type of level at this point, I think. Yeah. Am I balancing anything else? I mean, really? Oh. Person named Fizzly is actually looking at the thing saying, he's going to check this out. Well, the good news, Fizzly, if you actually reach this point, you will discover that I linked the entire plugin necessary, particle emitter, in the description of this. So I pretty much said that earlier, so you might not even reach this point. But if you do, you get a call out for commenting on my status about it. And then, where are we at on this other stuff here? Some of that. It really is a planning stage thing. I do all my stuff on the stream now, except for story writing. I'm not actually going to write a lot of story for the prototype, though. Like Tinka, the lady in the paintings, the Harlequin, she's going to have a bit of dialogue, but not that much. Mostly to explain to player things like that. Maybe she'll drop a couple jokes because she's a Harlequin and they do that, but Fortuna, the fortune teller, will probably just make a comment about how she's not doing anything currently yet. You have to check back later. Maybe she'll make some weird, crazy quips because she's wacky. But all in all, I don't think there's going to be much in the way of any dialogue in this prototype. I don't see a reason for dialogue since it's just to test gameplay. Yeah, just to test gameplay. So I don't think I need any more than that. The spoken stuff will just be the credit page, which I think I'll have her do anyway. I think she already has a credit option, doesn't she? I don't know. Maybe. Does she do credits? Where is she at? There we go. No, so she needs a dialogue thing. Dialogue Hinka and option for game credits. Dialogue for Fortuna. I'm just trying to figure out everything I need necessary to release this prototype. And Fortuna might not get put in. She might just get completely left out temporarily. I was going to use her as a method of increasing one of the abilities or just unlocking new abilities. Like you bring her enough stuff and you can buy another spell ability. That's part of what I could do. Fortuna unlocks spell abilities for doll parts. Because doll parts are the currency of this, since they don't actually have a mint or anything, but they do have a lot of dolls running around killing each other, so there's doll parts everywhere. That's their currency. Messed up. Except the Annibels, who are notoriously poor because they eat other dolls. Including their own. They're cannibals. A lot of the dolls eat other dolls, but the Annibels are the only ones that actually eat the other Annibels. Like, the only actual cannibals of the group. They're a little messed up. They're always smiling. It's really disturbing. They're crazy. Okay, so we want that. I don't know if I'm going to include that system, though. So that might be something that just doesn't get added. So for the jacks to do poison, I think we're just going to copy these same type of things and just add them to everything, right? Is that what we're doing? Because the Andy-Build just literally had better versions of the jacks that... Because they had this other one where it was... we just spawn a number. Right? This one here. Thought. Right? Am I missing something here? So I could have sworn I put it in a separate thing, but maybe I did not. Yeah, those are specific. Yeah, randomly around the player. This is actually just blatantly better. I don't even know why I have the other one that does specific directions when the randomly around the player exists. It's just amazing. I think this is just a straight up better version though. Let me double check. I'm pretty certain it's just blatantly better in every conceivable way. Pretty much is, yeah. Do I want the Jack to even fire things? I guess all the other Jacks fire things too. But he would only have like those two things. He wouldn't have everything else. I almost don't know if I need this. I guess it's neat that it does little patterns sometimes, so it kind of mixes it up some. Does she do anything different if she gets close? I guess I could just copy all of it. Honestly, it seems like not a bad decision. I mean, we'll vary him up a bit more, but for now... He does 198. And then it has some move options. Because this one runs away. It tries to spawn things at itself. This has the action ticker at the top, right? Let's go through each one and just do it individually. Well, these are so much better. This is so far too. Let's go ahead and yank that out. This one just does it individually. Wait a minute. Go ahead and put that back for now. Try that. That's actually this one. Four. This one will just do a lot more fire. I can also make them stay longer. I can also make the fires spread too. Giving him a different thing there. Actually, I'm gonna add that to my list. Boy, these are going to be poison. Well, let's see. Make fire spread. We'll add that. Number 3. Let's make let's go 5. I'm not sure they're going to have a projectile at all. I might just not bother. It's right there. Alright. Give more attack patterns. A lot like the Fanny Bell doll, except for they're different. I'm going to start making their patterns more different too, to see. I just need to get the system set up. Then I can just adjust the variable here and there to make everything seem kind of cool. Just having the basics set up would be very nice. Where's the boss? It's like he's teleporting forever. Is this broken? Try this again, see if it fixes the problem. Oh, it's almost 4. I'll get this Jack boss spawning, and then I'll probably call it for the night. I would make all the graphics on stream, but Daz tends to break streams, so I'm not a big fan of using it on stream. Because I have to use a ghetto graphics card for it because it doesn't like my good graphics card. It's terrible. I don't even have a hurt command for it. Did I forget to do the randomly spawn one? I think I did. I think it's on there, but I think it doesn't count the right number yet, does it? Yeah, it needs to be 5. Okay. Now, I might make things that are a little more random than the set patterns. The set patterns kind of suck. I don't know. Let's see. I wish I set the bosses to spawn with just instantly, so I don't have to sit there and collect 2 of these things just to get them to spawn. My lazy method for spawning them is apparently too long. I need an even lazier method. Come on, use the other attack. Do it. He kind of wanders off like that. That's good. You get too close to him and he tries to escape. Oh good, he did the new one. Nice. I mean, still set to the little darkness thingies, but yeah, you know, whatever. Did the jump there. Still did the jump. Come on, you doing any other ones? Yeah, maybe. He gets a little confused, maybe. I don't know if I like the little jump, because then it puts fires on him and it looks like he should be hurt by them, but I guess I could just make a fire move. He teleported away that time, so that's good. Also, how was I able to go through that? That's weird, I shouldn't be able to go through that. Can I go through other stuff? Somehow through is on. Okay, that's weird. Did someone else turn my through on? Maybe. Could have botched an event somewhere, I suppose. I don't think I did. Whatever the case, let's set this to 198 for that. Even though I'm going to make these poisons, so... Because the clowns are supposed to do the burning. Kind of means I should probably copy this over to here and then grab one of these over here. Let's do a little quick hot swap here. I don't think I have a poison pool graphic, do I? Do I have a poison pool graphic? I might. 257. Well, let's see what it looks like. On 257 here. I might have to make a graphic here in a second. This one sucks. Come to me, little boss. Where are you? Come on. Don't be shy. Game dev wants to play with you. Maybe. Where are at? There we go. Make pools everywhere. Do it. Oh, this is good. I'm okay with that. I don't think they need a little pentagram since these things don't use pentagrams. I think it was because the dolls use pentagrams. But honestly, it's not too bad. Yeah. Borrow this for a second. Fix the graphical bug. We do this off screen because I don't like going through my files while people are looking on, just in case there's something I don't want them to see. Exactly screen proof my computer, I probably should. Get the particle here. Fine. What do I call the particle? Oh, poison pool. Oh, and then anti-bell, huh? Yeah, whatever. Well, the anti-bells aren't going to use it. Yeah, we're just called poison pool. Whatever. This will be fine. And the images I'm using are Vinegar and Bubbles Green, huh? I don't really want the pentagram, but Bubbles Green is probably good enough. I don't know if it needs anything else there. It might just be enough all by itself. Yeah, you know what? Let's test it without the pentagram thingy. Anytime I could not make an entire particle, that seems pretty good. I mean, it doesn't take that long, but I could also be, you know, working on actually making the attacks and not making some graphics. Programming all the stuff here. If I don't click on it, then it slowly loads and just does the puzzle piece thingy. Okay, so come to me, boss, wherever you're at. Your problem spawning. Whatever, I just want to see the thing here. I guess I did the poison things. It's not bad. I just want to see him put poison everywhere. I wish the image form on there was bigger. Okay, that could be good. I can get behind it. Okay, well, on that, I'm going to go ahead and call it for the night. I would like to set up that tutorial so that other people can view it, the one from the start of the stream. If you end up watching to this point, thanks for watching. I should be back tomorrow night at 1 a.m. Pacific time. I guess it's in a way kind of morning. I don't know. But anyway, have a wonderful night, day, morning, or whatever it is for you. And this is Imaginary Villain signing off. See ya.